So just in the pre-lunch session, Nitin Gadkari ji launched first product of MMCM as Auto Circularity Orchestrator, DigiELV. So we know that as of now 40 plus RVSFs are operational and around 40 plus in pipeline, which would be operationalized soon. And there is a long list waiting for the approval of RVSF. But the current fact is the number of vehicles which are reaching to this RVSF are very, very low. Not only that, RVSF are also struggling what to do with reusable material, reusable components. So they are not aware. They are also not aware whether a component can be sold in open market or not, or if it can be sold, whether it is fit to be sold or not. So these are certain challenges RVSF are currently facing. In addition to that, we also know that automobile EPR, which is about to come, and automobile company need to prepare for that. So with all these things, because we have been now interacting to multiple RVSFs, multiple steel mills, multiple auto OEMs, we actually realize that there is a need of a common interface or a common ecosystem where the data and the information can be exchanged between each other. RVSF are definitely generating material, but that material, can that be used for fulfillment of EPRs or not? RVSF are also generating tire, e-waste, battery waste, used oil, and EPR is actually applicable in all. So can there be a closed ecosystem which connects to all industry players and give them an option to interact with each other? That is the thought process behind coming up as a Auto Circularity Orchestrator. So what role we are assuming? First and foremost, an organization or an industry without set standards is not possible. So the first and foremost thing is we need to formally set certain standards on the definitely on the component front, what all component can be used, what all component cannot be used. So there would be a standard. And then can they be refurbished and can be further used? So standards are definitely required. Not only that, there are multiple other standards are required, whether all the RVSF are working in a proper way. Because we have seen that every RVSF has different style of working. Some are really, really wonderful. Some still lag to a certain extent. So that whether that can be managed, that can be further refined. So all those standards are required. So first and foremost, we would be working on the standards for the automotive circularity. Second is approach of catalyst. So there are multiple ecosystem partners, starting from BFSI, because when a vehicle gets sold, loans are generally there. Even for the service, we have seen that people are connecting to financial institutions. Insurance is also a very important part. So these would by default become ecosystem partners. There are service centers. There are thousands of lakhs of service centers across India. If they can be connected to RVSF, because they know which vehicle is going to be end of life in what time. So what happened in the initial first 5 years, a vehicle is connected to auto OEMs because regular service or authorized service centers are generally touched. Suppose that it's actually to the open market. And all these unorganized service center, or we call multi-OEM service centers, are actually the key information people who know which vehicle would get retired. So we want to create an ecosystem where the information is available and they can also get benefit out of that. So we can connect those service centers to the ecosystem and then the information can be seamlessly passed. Availability of tech platforms and tech ecosystem partners. So this is another challenge. We know that there are multiple second-hand vehicle sales portal currently in India, but none or very limited portals for connecting end-of-life vehicles because the margin is really less. So we believe that there should be certain portals who can come up on the board and specifically working around end-of-life vehicle sourcing. Fourth and fourth one is that due to this sustainable activity which RVSF are doing through the waste management of end-of-life vehicle, can there be carbon reduction managed? Can there be a traceability of the carbon what they are saving for the environment? So we have worked out with IIT Mumbai and couple of international institutions, and we find that yes, there could be carbon savings calculated through end-of-life vehicle waste management. So we are also enabling openly a 40-point digital MRV solution which can be used by all the RVSFs. So as I mentioned, who are the stakeholders? So there is a long list as the stakeholders for the entire ecosystem, starting from vehicle owners and scrappers, service centers, part refurbishers, metal manufacturers, OEMs, etc. And a seamless information flow is required to each and every one. So this is the role what we want to achieve through Auto Circularity Orchestration. So what circularity orchestration means for OEMs and RVSF? We know that there is a big requirement coming to the OEMs. So one definitely is decentralized collection centers. As I mentioned that we are now trying to have an ecosystem where all these service centers can be linked to the RVSFs directly and vehicle can be sourced. So decentralized, currently what is happening that RVSF is actually concentric to his own zone and connected to 4 or 5 collection points. But we want an ecosystem where the decentralized information can be passed to all the RVSFs. Second is for OEM specific hybrid OEM ecosystem for the EPR purpose, because EPR liability is coming and then opening RVSF by OEMs may not make sense. So can this happen that in the RVSF, I can have a separate way for specific OEMs? This is the thought process. We definitely need to work with the OEMs on that. But a specific facility for a specific OEMs can be made available, can be connected. And then joint public awareness is also required. So we believe that a joint effort by OEMs, RVSF, and ecosystem partners towards the sustainability and sustainable way of recycling is very important, and we want to enable that through the ACO. Another is seamless supply chains, reusable component tracking. So every RVSF is now generating components, but that information is not available outside of the RVSF. So the ecosystem should be there where the material availability is passed to the material user. And the entire information what we are talking about, because see, OEM would definitely want their information should not be passed to other OEMs or somewhere else. Similarly, your scrappers would also want that their specific information or their competitive information should not go. So the ecosystem what we are thinking to create would work on zero knowledge proof information, so that the data without any collateral information would passed on. So person would know a scrap part is available and it would reach to him, but where it is lying, all that information may not be relevant. So that is there. And as I mentioned, the policy and the standardization development is really important. Standards for component reusability, sustainable practice in the RVSF, and certification for the RVSF is also required, what we believe should be part of this orchestration. So what is the immediate proposition as ACO? I mentioned that we have now partners which have their collection centers, or they have actually the service centers available across India, so that are easily available or immediately available for RVSF now to use. Similarly, those all service centers can be a source for selling your auto components. RVSF management system is another piece which I believe is required by all the RVSFs. Few RVSF who can invest more as capital in the systems, they have created one. But if somebody is require this RVSF management system that is actually available now, and that can be used by the RVSF. And your compliance reports can all directly be generated through the system itself. I already mentioned about COD avoidance DMRV. It is actually now an open system. Any RVSF can join and see whether they are scrapping their vehicle as per the DMRV requirement for carbon credit generation or not. And last but not the least is EPR traceability. So for EPR, we definitely have, from the sourcing of vehicle till the time it is dismantled, entire thing would be available through the systems. In addition to that, for the OEMs, further traceability from the material when it is going out from the RVSF till the point it is reaching to the steel mills and then coming back to the OEM equipment manufacturer, complete traceability can be enabled. So the idea is that we want to create this entire ecosystem, but without industry support, without OEM support, without RVSF support, this cannot be created. So we definitely need your inputs, your support in creating such ecosystem, which is actually useful for the entire circular industry or OEM automobile circular industry, and we need your support on that. At last, we can only do it together. It cannot be done by alone MMCM or so. Thank you so much.